Welcome back, focused learners. Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're unpacking the ARI report and taking a sweeping, data-driven look at the current state of our world. We'll be examining everything from shifting geopolitical power dynamics all the way to absolutely mind-bending AI advancements that literally sound like science fiction but are happening right now.
Now, to avoid giving you total content whiplash today, here's our roadmap. 1. Global geopolitics under pressure. 2. Navigating the global economy. 3. The next AI frontier. And 4. Sports and daily forecasts.
Let's move to our first stop and see how this all builds. Section 1. Global geopolitics under pressure. We are tracking some massive shifts in power. Right now, we're tracking two major structural shifts unfolding across global and domestic security. Internationally, in the Middle East, the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah is currently under intense pressure. This follows Israeli strikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon's Bekaa Alley. And in response to this escalating situation, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has reaffirmed his commitment to restoring security to the country's north. Meanwhile, if we shift from international borders to domestic district lines, there's a highly significant development in U.S. law. The Supreme Court has ruled 6-3 to strike down a majority black congressional district in Louisiana. And this is a monumental ruling because of its direct structural impact on the Voting Rights Act and, of course, the future of congressional districting across the whole country.
And this brilliantly illustrates where domestic political sentiment sits in the aftermath of these recent shifts. We're looking at early 2028 U.S. presidential polling data. Right now, the Democrats are currently polling at 52%, while the Republicans sit at 42%. So while we're obviously looking at very early indicators here, this still gives us a fascinating data-driven snapshot of the current political temperature and the electorate's baseline in the U.S.
But you know, the global reshuffling absolutely doesn't stop there. Let's run through these rapid-fire international diplomacy updates because we're seeing some highly unusual global alignments taking shape. First, Pakistan is currently stepping in to act as a mediator between the U.S. and Iran. Over in the energy sector, the United Arab Emirates announced its withdrawal from OPEC. That is a massive structural shift for global oil markets. And, perhaps with a touch of historical irony, the U.S. is preparing to host King Charles III for America's 250th independence anniversary. It's kind of a fascinating juxtaposition, isn't it? Celebrating independence from the British monarchy by hosting the current monarch, right in the middle of a major global realignment.
So, how exactly do all these global tensions impact the markets? Let's get into Section 2. Navigating the global economy and its ripple effects.
When we look at all this economic data, here is why this matters to you and me. This macroeconomic data directly translates to the cost of our daily goods. Right now, the IMF is projecting global growth to slow down to 3.1% for 2026. Looking at some specific markets, in Israel, the shekel to US dollar exchange rate is sitting at about 2.97, with the Bank of Israel maintaining its benchmark interest rate at 4.00%. Meanwhile, in the US, economic confidence took a notable dip in April. Why? Well, inflation rose to 3.4%, and that was driven largely by climbing fuel costs. Basically, the global friction we just discussed makes it more expensive to move things around the world. It's all deeply interconnected.
And speaking of climbing fuel costs, look at this figure, $118. That is the current price per barrel of Brent crude oil. This high cost is a direct, measurable consequence of the regional conflicts and OPEC shifts we just outlined. When global energy markets are under this much pressure, that $118 per barrel trickles down into shipping, into manufacturing, and eventually right down to the prices we all pay at the grocery store.
Now, what's really interesting about this next data point is the dramatic contrast it presents. While high fuel costs and inflation are straining traditional markets, the tech sector seems to be completely defying gravity. Microsoft's Q3 revenue just hit a staggering $82.9 billion. I mean, that is a massive figure for a single quarter. And the primary engine driving those astronomical gains? Their cloud and artificial intelligence sectors.
Which pivots us perfectly into Section 3, the next AI frontier and the autonomous revolution.
If there is literally one phrase you take away from this explainer today, make it this: agentic AI. These are autonomous systems designed to execute complex, multi-step tasks with minimal human intervention. We are witnessing a critical industry shift right here. We're evolving from AI systems that just answer our questions to systems that actually take independent action to solve our problems.
To really grasp how big of a leap this is, let's contrast the two concepts. Think about generative AI.
That was our previous focus, right? Prompting an AI to create a single output, like generating a block of text or drawing an image. But agentic AI? That is a whole different ballgame. It's all about autonomous, multi-step problem solving. Instead of just asking the AI to draft an email, you ask an agentic AI to research a topic, write the report, format it into a presentation, and email it out to your team, all without you lifting another finger. It is a fundamentally different, highly advanced phase of intelligence.
And here is where things get truly wild. This intelligence isn't just staying trapped inside software, it is getting a physical body. Check out these mind-blowing updates in humanoid robots. Kinetics AI has introduced the Kai humanoid robot featuring an incredible 115 degrees of freedom that gives it stunningly complex human-like movement. Over in Tokyo, Japan, Airlines is actively piloting logistics robots right now at Haneda Airport to handle physical operations. But this last point is just spectacular. The Honor D1 humanoid robot just set a world record by running a half marathon in roughly 50 minutes. Think about that for a second. A robot continuously running a half marathon at that speed. The physical capabilities of these autonomous systems are advancing at a breathtaking pace. Now, with autonomous robots running marathons and global power shifting, it's easy to feel a little overwhelmed. But amidst all of this, human entertainment, culture, and our daily routines keep marching right along.
Section 4, Sports and Daily Forecasts. A quick look at culture and daily life. So the crucial point is keeping up with our culture too. While the geopolitical map changes, our global passions remain strong. In football, the Champions League is thrilling fans as Arsenal and Atletico Madrid drew 1-1 in their highly anticipated semi-final first leg. Meanwhile, Adidas just dropped a massive €100 million strategic investment into the Bundesliga. Over in basketball, the 2026 NBA playoffs are in full swing. The Thunder and Pistons secured the top seeds, and both the Spurs and the Thunder have already advanced past the first round. And in tennis, at the Mutua Madrid Open, world number 1 Jannik Sinner safely secured a semifinal spot after a victory over Rafa Nadal. And finally, let's end our factual reporting with a literal look out the window. If you're currently in Jerusalem today, you're enjoying a beautiful sunny 23 degrees Celsius. But if you're tuning in from New York City, you are navigating light rain, clouds, and a much colder 49 degrees Fahrenheit. Two major global hubs, two vastly different daily experiences. We've covered a massive amount of ground today, right? From fragile global ceasefires and shifting election polls to a $118 barrel of oil, all the way to autonomous robots running marathons, which leaves us with this final provocative thought. With AI taking over complex, multi-step tasks and robots literally running half marathons, what role are you going to play in this agentic future? It's a rapidly shifting, incredibly interconnected world, and the future is arriving faster than ever. How will you adapt? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay curious and keep learning.